and it keeps giving me tips.
Yeah,
you got
I
tips.
love a good tip.
It's like,
Okay.
just do it. And I was like, bro, I'm a fucking pro here. Rob tells me to do all of it.
All right, we're live. We're live, baby. Yes. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yes. Okay.
Also, it's only 7 here. I was thinking it was going to be 6, but it's only 7, so I'm not going to be as funny as I thought I would be at 6. But
Yeah, makes a big
Yeah. Wait, is are they not on the daylight savings? Is it like your home state of Arizona?
I think Hawaii is on daylight savings. It's always 2 hours behind California, but I was thinking it was 3 hours behind California.
Yeah, I thought it was 3.
You know, I'm all for any politician that'll abolish daylight savings and time zones.
You want to abolish time zones
and daylight savings. It's just ridiculous.
So you want everybody to just be on the same clock, regardless of where the sun is in the sky.
Yeah, I don't want to have to look up Zulu time or Universal time or whatever, or have to worry about it when I travel.
Yeah,
missing a flight.
Yeah.
You know, in fairness, Danny, like when I watch like Star Trek, like they're on one time. They're in space. Like what time are the astronauts on?
Thank you. Yeah. As it will eventually become. We'll all have to be on Earth time. And that Earth time is going to be Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah. Do you think that the entire? I guess they go to star dates at some point, because I feel like that's very, you got to get like every other planet to be on the 365-day cycle of like, what date is it? Oh, March 10th. Yeah.
Oh, so we have to get rid of dates too, but
or like a galactic calendar.
Dates. Yeah.
Yeah. Star dates. There you go.
Yeah. Zulu time is what Susanna Perez says in the.
Okay. All right.
You can. Yeah, you'd still have to have dates, because how would you figure out futures?
Coordinate things like, hey, meet me at this quasar. Like, you get there, nobody's there.
Did I have the wrong date?
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, dude, I'm like 2 light years ahead. Freak.
All right. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to hit record right now. I didn't hit
record.
It yet.
All right.
Recording.
Wait, what is today's date? The 5th. Okay. Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm Rob Cesternino, back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories for the week of January 5th, 2021. First, News AF of 2021 is here. News AF.
If the story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Kind of screwed up the intro for the first show of 2021, but we only can go up from here. We are back here after a best of 2020 special last week. Hope you enjoyed that. If you missed it, check it out. Rob has a website.com/newsaf2020. So many fun moments from the past year, the most AFiest year of all time. And now back with us for the first time in 2021. The top pickleball influencer of the decade. Here he is, the great Tyson Apostol. Tyson, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. I am in Hawaii, and I am on vacation with my family.
Air quotes, yes.
Air quotes, vacation. We were talking about this a little pre-show, and Danny said that vacation with your family is not vacation for you. It's vacation for your kids, and that is true. And my kids love hotel rooms, which is so crazy that we could have done this anywhere instead of going through the rigmarole of getting multiple COVID tests and paying a lot of money. I don't know if you've ever been to Hawaii, but it's not cheap. It's not the cheapest place you could go on vacation.
Yeah, but you're at the epicenter of all news, current news right now.
It is true, but I'm on the wrong island. And the other thing is I could just because my kids really, their only thing is the hotel room. Like, they'll go to the beach for as little time as possible. They like the beach just fine, but the hotel room is really where it's at. So what I should have done is I should have taken the guest room at my house and turned it into a hotel style look room.
Yeah.
Boarded it off. And then once every 6 months, the whole family goes in there and spends like 3 days straight together for vacation. vacation for the kids. They'd love that.
Well, you'd have to make up appointments of like, oh, okay, daddy has to go to a meeting and then just go back to the rest of the house.
That's true. I guess I would. Yeah, because I don't want to be stuck in there the whole time.
Yeah. Would you consider for your next vacation just like heading over to like the Flagstaff Red Roof Inn?
Yeah, 100%. Probably Scottsdale. But yeah, for sure we would. And we've done that before and they do love that. But they, for some reason, they just love the excitement of the hotel rooms or Airbnbs. We were at an Airbnb before and it doesn't matter.
That's because they haven't learned about the persistence of bodily fluids yet.
I mean, we've been trying to teach them.
You should bring a black light
through it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And here he is back with us, the great Danny Bryson. Danny, how are you?
Pretty great, I guess. That puts a lot of pressure on me to be great. Why can't we just be kind of good?
I mean, you're not on vacation with your kids.
No, thank goodness. But I wish I was looking at hot lava in Hawaii while watching UFOs crash into the ocean. It sounds like such a good time.
We're going to go get a glimpse of hot lava today, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what is the situation for the hot lava in Hawaii?
So yesterday we drove around and looked at all the lava flow that happened 2.5-3 years ago. And saw all the destruction it caused. It actually wiped out a bunch of like touristy spots and
probably made the locals happy.
Neighborhoods and
not happy
and stuff like that. And so there's one road where they've just kind of like built the road back up on top of the lava, but it goes up like some places like there is like 20-30 feet of lava on top of what used to be.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're safe.
But I'm safe.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well,
and right now the lava situation is there is a pond of bubbling lava.
So cool.
Like hundreds of feet deep and is getting deeper by the day. So I wanted to do a helicopter tour, but Rachel's like, I've already seen lava. And I was like, I know, but
rent a Suburban and drive it across the pond.
But this isn't for you also. I was like, yeah, I've already seen lava too, but we have two little who haven't seen lava in their life and we're so close to it. I feel like as education itself, we should go see this lava and we're going to go see it, but we're going to go see it by car.
One of my strongest childhood memories, Tyson, is seeing lava in person. I've never forgotten it. Yep. In Hawaii.
Danny, has anybody checked the pool of lava to see if the glaive could be in the pool of lava? Has anybody stuck their hand in there?
Just reach your hand in and just fish around for a Chinese star. It's there, but you have to be worthy.
I listened to the podcast from last week.
The best of,
best of. It was really good. The celebrity beat off is still.
That was a good one. Yeah.
BEET, beat eating contest.
Yeah, we had a beat eating competition.
Yeah.
So. Lots of fun stuff. If you missed that one from last week in the midst of everything going on with the holidays, definitely check that one out. Okay. So we mentioned the lava, but also we have a few alien related stories to lead off with, but there are multiple UFO sightings over the Hawaiian island of Oahu. Tyson, have you heard a lot of buzz about the blue UFO sightings?
No, nobody's been talking.
What?
I've seen the headlines, but I've only seen it on the News AF Facebook group and stuff. Nobody here is talking about it.
That's crazy. I would have thought it would be the most talked about subject other than lava flowing.
Yeah. There have been a number of 911 calls. I mean, is that the move also, Danny? If you see a UFO, call 911?
I've wondered about that myself, but you got to start the ball rolling somewhere. Or maybe you don't, because the minute you get the police and then the feds involved, all your ability to expose the alien conspiracy goes right out the window.
Yeah, as the Men in Black show up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's better to investigate yourself by kayaking out into the ocean and finding out where that ship dove down into the water.
Yeah. Well, it was a blue mysterious object streaking across the sky, which caused a number of witnesses to start calling 911 to let the Hawaiian authorities know about a UFO over Oahu.
And there's pictures if
Mhm.
you're a sucker for pictures of alien spacecraft.
Yeah, there was a
They're out there.
video. And have you watched the video, Danny?
No, I just looked at the pictures. That was enough for me.
Yeah, kind of blurry, but there's
Shaky,
definitely
blurry
something there.
footage.
Yeah. Nobody ever catches a UFO on a tripod.
UFOs are smart. They know, and same with Sasquatch. They know to stay away from professional videographers.
At all times. Yeah.
They usually only fly around amateurs.
Which is getting harder to do with all the cool devices we have now. So it's like impossible almost for them to show up, but they still
but
have times to do it.
But this has been a complaint of mine for at least a year or two now, is camera quality has been going up, but the quality of footage we see when we see Sasquatch and UFOs isn't necessarily going up at the same. Not matching it. It's not a direct correlation. So disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this all ties into our top story today about the reports from a Harvard professor. His name is Avi Loeb, and he reports that he believes that in 2017, aliens visited the planet Earth. He believes that there was a object that he says was from a nearby star, 25 light years away, and it intercepted our solar system's orbital plane on September 6th, 2017.
And it has a Hawaiian name, and we talked about it when it happened. Oma, or whatever it's called.
Yes.
The cigar-shaped interstellar object.
Yeah, we covered it.
We most definitely did.
Yeah, we said, what is this? Is this a UFO?
We said, is this aliens?
So his theory is that it's discarded alien technology, and he says that he believes that the proof is in the fact that it seemed to accelerate beyond all explanations once it passed the Earth and it was kind of head back out of our solar system.
Okay, so Danny, from what I'm understanding here, are they saying this was garbage that the aliens dropped off? That this was basically like the equivalent of the outdoor furniture that people brought into the woods? An
alien sex couch. Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, his theory, he's saying, why aren't we embracing the idea that the first thing to come by will be junk? Because we've sent a lot of junk into space. I mean, look at it. The orbit around Earth is filled with junk. We're sending out satellites all the time. Why isn't it possible that a piece of discarded alien technology sent tens of thousands, maybe a million years ago, wouldn't come shooting through our solar system? People are writing them off. They say that what happened was the sun heated the surface of this object and then gave it propulsion by burning some of the elements on its surface off, giving a little additional push. But yeah, it's his theory is that it was basically an alien sex couch that came flying through our solar system. And now it's gone. I mean, it's moved back out towards interstellar space.
So we don't have the coordinates of it.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get a good look at it. Like if you look at some of the best images of it out there, they're not great. And another thing to remark is that it had an unusual shape, which even at the time when it was passing Earth made a lot of people believe it might be from another civilization.
Yeah. Now, Danny, are scientists worried that this object could have been dangerous? Like if it was something that the aliens wanted to make sure they were throwing away to get as far away from their planet, was this sort of like the, discarded fuel cell from their alien nuclear power plant?
Oh, without a doubt. It's like they jettisoned this thing once it burned up. It's probably some unknown atomic element, highly radioactive, but we can't yet see it because it's so advanced, that we don't have the means to really take a record of what it is. But yeah, for sure, if it had hit Earth, it definitely would have mutated people and blood would have been shooting out of people's ears. I mean, if it had crashed next to Hawaii, I'm sure all the ocean around Hawaiian Islands would have been boiling.
You think so?
Oh, for sure.
And you don't think this is the same object that they're seeing now?
No, the object that is right next to you, Tyson, observing your every move, listening to your children scream in hotel rooms. I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I find it so strange. The biggest problem with believing in aliens is trying to understand the activities they choose to do on Earth. Like, what's the point of flying over the Hawaiian Islands in a glowing blue ship and then crashing into the ocean? Like, what are they up to?
I mean, it's a beautiful place to visit. You
It
want to see
is.
the
And
lava,
maybe-
right? The alien
Yeah.
kids they wanted to educate them on, the best part of alien childhood is seeing lava.
Yeah. The
That's
most
true.
remote island chain in the world is Hawaii.
Hmm.
Still, lots of good places to crash into the ocean. A lot of islands with lava and erupting volcanoes. Just weird they chose Hawaii. Well, also, your cloaking device isn't so great. If we can see your blue orb going through the air, it's like, come on,
Maybe the
dude,
cloaking
update your
device
tech.
Maybe it was just malfunctioning.
What if aliens are just total pervs? Like, they've gotten to a point on their planet, they're so bored, so they come to Earth to perv on people. They're like the ultimate galactic peeping Tom. They've got cloaking technology. They're just hovering outside people.
Yeah, I've never heard it
windows.
described that way. So you feel like that the aliens are here. They found like a hole in the fence, and they're just like watching everything that's going on over here, like a bunch of looky-loos.
Yeah, but not even like in an interesting scientific way, but total creepers.
Mhm.
So
They're
you
like
think they're
just
just
like
watching you and your
eating-
wife?
they're eating their version of Cheetos, drinking Mountain Dew in their ships, hovering outside of Tyson's hotel window, watching
Mhm.
whatever is going on inside.
I mean,
You know,
we're not
hanging
doing
out
anything
next to the
bad.
nude beaches. What if they're just total pervs who have
Yeah.
spent so much time alive they've got nothing else going
Well,
on?
not for
I
anything. And then they bring people up to the ship, and
Yeah,
then
they're
that's
probing them.
Yeah, that's not appropriate. What's going on up there?
Anymore, yeah, that's not appropriate anymore, as consensuality has become a real thing over the last couple centuries.
I mean, certainly, I don't think that any of the aliens are getting any sort of consent for what they're about to do.
But,
I
I mean,
think
if
there are
they-
people that would give
Yeah.
that consent.
What if they brought up a weirdo who's
So
like,
you're saying this is for science?
Mhm.
what the ultimate thing would be to get a guy, bring him up into the ship, and he just ruins the whole experiment by going like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah,"
Mhm.
you know, like he likes it way too much and makes the aliens feel uncomfortable. They don't
Yeah.
even do much. They just kind of put him back, and then they go fly into space and take a radiation bath to kind of get the bad taste out of their mouth.
Mhm.
Of having to
Never
deal with
again.
that guy.
Yeah.
They're like, no, never again. Now let's just go back to peeping Tom. Being
It does seem as though, again, when I've talked about this a lot, when I was younger, that I feel like that alien abduction stories were much more prevalent, where I feel like that you almost never hear an alien abduction story anymore.
Yeah, the Inquirer. What happened to the Inquirer? I used to love looking at its covers when I'd go to the gas station. That's how I got all my news. That was News AF before News AF.
Yeah, the Weekly World News.
Yeah, weekly, a lot of Elvis stuff, a lot of alien stuff, UFO
Mhm.
babies.
Bat Boy.
Yeah, now it's just gone to like these weird Tic Tacs that fly around and spy on people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about something else that is going on in the wonderful country of Brazil. We've talked a lot about the obelisks, which are popping up all over the place, but there is a different piece of artwork which is making a lot of headlines right now. There is a 108-foot concrete and resin sculpture.
Oh yeah,
It's called
Beautiful.
Diva.
Will
And-
you finish the description, because there's definitely more to it than just what it's made of and what it's called. What does it look like,
Yes.
Rob?
People are upset. Some people are upset because that it is on the side of a beautiful mountainscape, and it bears a striking resemblance to female genitalia.
Do you think that was unintentional?
Yeah, I
Just
saw
a
an
big
Everybody
accident?
Loves Raymond episode like this once.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Yeah,
Famous
tell us
episode,
more
yeah.
about this.
That well,
Was it
Raymond's
about a
mom,
Brazilian hillside?
Raymond's mom made a sculpture, and everybody
Oh.
thought that that's what it looked like in this little Rorschach test. And then, but nobody had the heart to tell Raymond's mother that that's what it looked like.
Could it be the aliens who put this
So then
sculpture
they
down?
had to put it on display everywhere in Raymond's house, or what?
It was on display. It was a sculpture. Yeah.
Did an artist do this in like out in the open? Was this done in secrecy under the cloak of darkness. Like, what is the background? Who's the person that put it together? It looks like a lot of concrete.
Yeah, so there was an installation next week. The artist says it depicted both a vagina and a wound, questioning the relationship between nature and culture in a phallocentric and anthropocentric society. So, yeah, maybe the obelisks were part of that phallocentric society.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen a dong shaped quite like the obelisks. Are we calling them obelisks? What were they called before? It started with an M.
Monoliths.
But I saw this installation
Mm-hmm.
In person.
A lot of red.
Yeah.
A lot of red.
Okay.
Kind
All
of
right. Well, here, let me share. I'll share a picture of what this looks like. Okay. This is from CNN.com. All right.
Art.
Yeah. They like art. So here it is. This is what all the fuss is about. This very large thing. Now, Danny, is there really a hole there, or is it an optical illusion?
Hard to say. The one I saw wasn't like a straight down look. It was more from the side. Let's see what you're looking at.
I think it's an optical illusion, but I am not sure.
Whoa. Gaping.
Yeah.
That looks like the kind of the hole lava would come out of.
Yeah.
If it's an optical illusion, that's a pretty good one.
Yes. So there are a lot of people in Brazil who are upset about this. Not happy that it's there.
Well, I'd like to see the surrounding environment. Is it still like all farmland, or is there like a preschool right next to it, or a grade school? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if this is in the middle of nowhere, who cares?
Yeah.
But if it's art, then
well, look, it's only fair that the one place in Germany had that giant dong at the summit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
it's only fair if we're gonna be throwing dongs all over the place. Why not that?
Yeah.
So yeah, Danny, do you think that maybe Star Wars fans might start flocking to Brazil to visit something that bears a striking resemblance to the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi?
Gosh, the Sarlacc pit really scared me when I was a kid.
Yes.
What are you guys talking about? The Sarlacc pit. I mean, I probably saw.
You don't know that whole scene is one of the greatest Star Wars scenes in the game.
Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, explain it to me. The Sarlacc pit.
It's the whole scene with oh my gosh, why can't
Jabba the Hutt.
Oh,
and what's her name in that skimpy outfit, and then the diving board.
Only Boba Fett can get out of there. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I mean, that was an awesome scene. I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan, but I have to admit that was one of the greatest scenes out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, I could see that a giant monster coming out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me.
It's a hot debate. The president of Brazil does not like it.
Oh,
Wants to shut it down.
Who likes it?
He's the president. He
fighting
could probably
for
shut
it?
that down.
A lot of people like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it on private property?
Good question.
Let's see. It is on the site of a former sugar mill that has been turned into an open air museum.
Okay.
I mean,
So
that's exactly where that type of thing would belong.
Yeah.
Danny, do you think that we will see maybe the UFOs starting to hover around this area?
Yeah. Dude, they're already there.
They're already sleeping on this.
Fix their cloaking device so it's not glowing blue. And dude, they're laughing and high-fiving while hovering above it just all day long.
Yeah. Okay. So that is very controversial artwork. I mean, this has been the last couple of months, just these different artwork installations just pop up everywhere.
If you wanted to give your kid the talk, this would be a great place to go to kind of break the ice. Get into the discussion. Thank you, Hillside.
You think so?
Making a difficult conversation easier.
All right, so that's what's going on over in Brazil. Why don't we discuss a man in India who was a romantic at heart? He was in a relationship with a married woman, And instead of having to sneak into her house all the time, he burrowed a tunnel to her home. That is the story of. I'm sorry that this was a Mexican man did this. It was reported that the site that is reporting this is IndiaTVNews.com. A Mexican man dug a hole to his lover's home so that he could evade detection of visiting his lover. Unfortunately, he got into a run-in with the wife's with the woman's husband.
Mhm.
Great. Now I gotta spend all my time wandering around my house with one of those little like heartbeat, things that doctors use, listening to the ground, see if anyone's tunneling into my house.
Mhm.
Well, don't you have a cement foundation? I feel like it would be harder to hide. Where are you hiding a tunnel entrance into your house that someone's not going
Like
to bump into?
Shawshank, Tyson.
Yeah.
I
If
guess, like,
nothing else, this
behind.
proves his love. I mean, I've tried to dig a tunnel as a child and gave up probably like within 2 feet. It's
Uh-huh.
freaking hard to dig a tunnel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, this is a sign of dead. I mean, what girl
Love.
wouldn't swoon at the idea of a man building a tunnel to her?
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
it go from his house to her house, or did it
Yes.
go from? Wow.
Yeah. So the construction worker named Alberto built a passageway that allowed him to visit this woman, Pamela, at her residence in Tijuana while her husband was at his security job. However, he came home early one day and the husband found Alberto hiding behind the sofa and noticed a hole that led to a tunnel beneath the house.
Security job?
Mhm.
He might not have that job when his employer finds out that a man managed to dig a hole into his own house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
Like,
caught him.
yeah, he caught him, but he didn't catch the hole. Like, what if
Mhm.
he works for a bank? That's a classic tunnel scenario. And it'd be like, you can't even detect a tunnel going to your own house. You're fired.
Do we think that maybe this sculpture in Brazil might have been a way to get to somebody else's house,
Paramore?
secret passage?
Probably. I mean, I'm just impressed with this guy's work.
Mhm.
Is any woman really worth digging a hole? I wouldn't dig a hole to Liz.
Well,
How much
but
do you
it
love
wasn't
her?
even his wife, Danny.
I know.
This is commitment to dig
So
a
much
tunnel from your house to another person's house. I mean, there's
under a
no going
street.
back.
Yeah.
What do you do?
all the
Fill it
dirt,
in one day?
It's permanent.
The tunnel?
It's
The
better
tunnel.
than
Yeah, you can
it's-
slap some brick and mortar
Spackle?
over it. Yeah, some
that sounds like
spackle.
even more work.
No, when you're done, like let's say things end badly, and then you put some like razor fish down in there, and then spackle it so that
Mhm.
scorpions, a bucket of scorpions, something like that to keep whoever
Trap.
was using it before from coming at least part way into the tunnel before
Mhm.
exiting. So you're like, there's rattlesnakes and scorpions down there now. Good sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine you come home from work early one day? Well, imagine leaving the house, but you come home from work early one day and then you find a man hiding behind your sofa. And not only that he also made a hole in a wall in your house to dig
What?
a tunnel from his house.
Finding the tunnel would definitely soften the blow of discovering my wife's indiscretion because who doesn't love a good tunnel? They're like, whoa, you
Secret
built this?
passage?
Like, they're probably bonding over
you're
like,
kind of like, what can I now use this tunnel for? It's
yeah,
already
this is
here.
great. And then they probably are best friends now and they built like a little train and they pass
Mhm.
beers to and from. They're probably better friends now than they ever were before. Just all because of the tunnel. What guy?
Yeah.
I mean, people love tunnels.
I guess so. I think I feel like I'd be annoyed that this guy made a hole in the wall.
That would be annoying. I would definitely demand that he put in a door.
It's like, yeah,
But-
what was wrong with the door?
I was gone. Yeah, I was
Wasn't
gone,
as
dude.
discreet. It wasn't discreet enough because you can see neighbors can watch the comings and goings. This was even undetected by aliens because they were in Hawaii. They weren't even over in Mexico perving on these guys.
Rob, what if the tunnel came before the affair? Like the guy was just digging a tunnel and he punched through the wall into the house and was like, I'm
Wait,
here.
where am I? Is this China? No. It's me, Pamela, from across the street.
Yeah, just 2 doors down.
And he probably had when he broke through the drywall, he'd been tunneling all day, probably had his shirt off. He probably
is
had
sweaty.
built up some serious delts from all that digging, and he just looks so good. And Pamela's like, "Oh my gosh, this is a man."
Yeah.
No, agreed.
All right,
For
and that's
sure.
what happened. The
Yeah.
tunnel came before the affair.
Yeah. How mad do you think that this man's own wife was? That all these things, all these projects around the house I've been waiting for you to do. You tell me you don't have any time, but you built a tunnel.
You can't change the light bulbs in the garage, but you just spent 6 months digging a tunnel and reinforcing it.
Man.
Well, I hope we have more tunnel stories in 2021.
Oh,
everybody loves a good tunnel story.
I think as Caligula and those people get their hands on this story, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You mean Club Caligula? You want them to get their hands on this story?
On the tunnel building technologies.
Yeah.
To evade authorities so that they can continue on with their whatever parties they were doing. I don't know.
Tunneling in and tunneling out.
What were you guys doing in there, Daddy?
Eating. They were eating at it, but their risky behavior was taking place. They were eating at a buffet.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. The tunnel might be more helpful for when the police show up and it's like, quick, everybody get to the tunnels. Yeah, get out of there. Like a quick escape from Caligula.
My guess is, though, that tunneling in New York City might be a little more challenging than tunneling in rural Mexico.
Yeah. Let me read a comment from the chat.
No, I want to read it.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it statutory since she's dating a minor? MINER. Get it? DePete coming through. Get it, Daddy?
Of course I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So it's the new year, and a lot of people are trying all sorts of new fitness trends to get the new year off on the right foot. You're not?
Mm-mm.
Are you waiting till after vacation?
No, I should get in better shape so that if Danny ever wants to hang out with me physically, I'm not ashamed of my appearance and can also keep up when he's like, I only will talk to people who jog by myself.
And so you can swim in the ocean with your shirt off. I did see your comment that you posted recently about having the shirt on like a doctor. And
that was just because I didn't have my shirt on.
I know you didn't have your shirt on, but what I'm saying is now that's such a funny Instagram post because I'm sure now you swim in the ocean with a shirt on.
Could you explain that you posted a picture from when you were on Survivor and then Survivor Medical came out to you in the water?
Yeah, and they all just had their regular clothes on and they're all just like in the water with their regular clothes on. And I'm like, I have never even really examined that picture before and I just found it. It was like, oh, that's because Survivor will send you a bunch of digital pictures after your time on the show. And they used to send physical ones. When Rob was on the show, they would send an envelope filled with pictures of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so I saw that picture and I was like, that's really funny that there's like 10 doctors and they're all just standing there in the ocean in their regular clothes like it ain't no thing, examining me. And so, I just made a comment.
Now you know why. Now you wear all your clothes in the ocean.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's like when the aliens are doing their examination, they don't get totally undressed.
Yeah, but that's just to make you more comfortable. If the aliens were standing there in nothing but their socks, you'd be like, I do not feel comfortable with this probing.
Danny, when I was going through the best of clips that I was listening to a lot of clips that didn't make the show. And I heard a few clips of you talking about your hearty breakfasts from 2020.
Yeah, I had the same breakfast just this morning.
4 eggs, two yolks, and then what non-fat yogurt.
Yeah, I don't eat that for breakfast. That's what I'll eat later. But for breakfast, 2 yolks, 4 eggs, 2 pieces of toast, and ham.
Yeah,
I just barely had it. That's why I'm so chirpy today.
So you put ham like on a skillet? What are you doing?
No, I put ham on the toast. I kind of make like a little open face sandwich with one of my pieces of toast. Then I use the other piece of toast as kind of like a rake or a supporting wall to hold, to get things onto the fork. It's excellent to have. Then you eat it later. It's
but like, listen, so is it like honey baked ham where it's like a real slab of ham, or is
it's whatever ham? It's whatever ham is available. I'm not picky when it comes to my ham.
Well,
So-
I mean, there's different hams. Like the deli ham is like hot dog meat, or are you getting like
Whatever. I don't even look at the ham packaging.
Yeah.
Just
So
grab
for
ham.
you, what I want to know is, for any time of year, I could send you a honey baked ham and know full well it would get eaten.
Yeah, well, that's a lot. A honey baked ham is big, but yes,
But
it
it's
would.
delicious. It would make the best breakfast sandwiches.
It's like as close as you can get to candied meat, pretty much.
It is candied meat.
Candied meat is ham.
Well, no, honey baked ham is candied meat for sure.
Yeah. Is spam okay? Would you eat spam?
I've eaten spam. I actually had
Oreos.
I've had spam before too, but I wouldn't eat it with Oreos.
I wouldn't. That sandwich, which I doubted and was later proven to be an actual item, I wouldn't eat that. Well, no, I would. I would try it. I'd take a bite.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all this talk of diet leads us to a study which reveals from the Georgia Institute of Technology, they have predicted that the outcome of 77% of people who are dieting, they can tell based on their social media posting.
Okay, so they can determine by looking at their postings whether or not they'll follow through on their diet. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Twitter users who tweet in a positive or optimistic light are generally more future and people-oriented than their less positive peers and tend to have a greater sense of achievement in their social interactions.
So more positive people will see through on their promise to exercise? Is that what it's saying?
Yes. So they looked at positive tweets versus negative tweets. And the study went into users. They looked at 700 people who use MyFitnessPal on their apps with over 2 million tweets and 100,000 MyFitnessPal food diary entries. They looked at the tone and the linguistic attributes of tweets, and they found that there were people who were had more positive tweets were also more likely to stick to their diets.
So they're saying that they can predict 77%, or that's their accuracy.
So it was they've decided that they've devised a successfully predict the outcome of one's diet at a 77% of the time.
Yeah, I can do that too.
No, 77 is pretty high.
No, none of you just say that most people aren't going to stick to it. 77% of people that are trying to stick to their New Year's plan aren't going to stick to their.
But they have a more scientific approach. They've got data to back it up. You're just winging it.
Yeah, but I might even actually be more accurate than 77%.
Because you're just going to say nobody's going to follow through. And then the percent of people who actually do follow through is so minuscule that, you'll be Nostradamus of exercise.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Cool.
So can you beat the system by being positive on social media to succeed in your diet?
No, you're only lying to you're lying.
Because you're lying.
Yeah, that's not
don't
you.
think that you would trick yourself into becoming
beautiful day today. Everything is great.
I'm so happy and filled with joy. Can't wait to eat these 4 eggs.
Love my half grapefruit breakfast I had for breakfast. Gonna have the other half for lunch.
Yeah. You're just going full Ted Lasso on social media.
Mm-hmm.
It might work after a time. People can lie themselves.
I mean, you're gonna lose friends for sure, but it could work. Yeah.
All right. So that's something to think about in the new year as people are trying to get back onto some sort of a fitness regimen in 2021. All right.
I should. I've been playing pickleball.
Yeah. Even on the road?
On the road I played. I went and played a couple times. I'm going to play more. And then right when I get back, I am going to a pickleball camp that Gamma is hosting.
Cool.
Yes. Well, that sounds fun. A camp.
I think they just teach you all about pickleball and help you get better. So we'll see if I get better or just angrier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's anything like golf, you'll just end up getting more frustrated.
It's not golf, dude, because I went golfing and I was like, I tried golfing and tried focusing on golf for like 2 years and got minusculely better. And Pickleball, it's like you play 3 times and you've already jumped like 17 levels. And so
There's probably a lot of levels if you're jumping 17.
Yeah, there's 1,000 levels. No, but you notice your improvement almost daily in pickleball, which makes the game way more fun than golf, where you're like, I think I improved, but that could have just been lucky.
Yeah, and the worst thing you could do for yourself when playing golf is try to improve, because that means you'll actually get worse.
It's true.
Awful.
If you try to improve, you get worse.
Yeah, I took lessons too for golf, and that was some of the worst golfing I ever did.
I still bump into the guy who was coaching me for golf, and he still begs me to come back to the game and play more. And I was like, I've had it with golf. And he's like, I'll teach you for free until we figure your swing out. And we never figured it out. And I was like, yeah, and we're never going to, because it's golf. So I'm going to play pickleball. You stop calling me and offering me free golf lessons. And I'll bump into you once in a while when someone talks me into accidentally golfing, and then have to when I do golf, though, I put my friends' names and numbers on my golf balls, so when they smash through other people's living rooms,
Smart. That's actually smart.
It's really smart, right? And the other thing you do is you take a smorgasbord of balls, so they're all different brands, so the person coming out of their living room can't associate the brand of ball that smashed its window with the brand in your bag.
Nice.
These are some tricks, some pro tips. Yeah.
Pro tips.
Hacks by Tyson Apostol.
So we opened this story or the show today talking about some parenting hacks from Tyson. Are either of you familiar with the saga of Bean Dad?
No, I just saw some Bean Dad stuff in the comments here, but I don't know what Bean Dad is doing.
Yeah. How about you, Danny?
I saw a picture, saw the headline, never looked into it, was put off by the idea of Bean Dad.
Okay. I feel like that of the three of us, I feel like that Danny might be most likely to be Bean Dad.
What does this mean? What am I being accused of?
Figure this out. I don't know what's going on.
So a man went to Twitter and he posted a saga which ended up going viral. That he ends up telling a story where he says, yesterday, my daughter, parentheses 9, was hungry, and I was doing a jigsaw puzzle. I know. So I said over my shoulder, make some baked beans. Okay. Which is, I think is an odd thing to say to a 9-year-old.
It's odd to say to anybody. Nobody.
The kid wanted the beans.
Oh, the kid said, I want baked beans.
Yeah. And my kids have have made similar requests with canned goods. So, I mean, it just happened to be beans.
Yeah.
But my kid went through a period of time when he was like 10 where he wanted bean burritos all the time. And he was always asking for beans. So anyway, sorry, go on.
All right. So he said, make some baked beans. She said, how? Like all kids do when they want you to do it. So I said, open a can and put it in a pot. So she brought me the can and said, open it how? And so he goes on to explain that, sweetheart, neither of us will eat another bite today until we get this can of beans open. So he was frustrated. His 9-year-old daughter couldn't open the can of beans. And then the daughter gets upset. She says, he writes, at this point, she said, I don't want baked beans, and marched off. Apocalypse Dad went into full the road mode. Sweetheart, neither of us will eat another bite today until we can get into this can of beans. And so for 6 hours on and off that they fought. And eventually she figured out how to use the can opener to remove the lid.
People are calling child abuse or something, if I remember correctly. Probably people who've never had kids.
Danny, do you want to weigh in on this? Was valuable lesson learned or no?
You know what? I admire the dad for sticking to his guns. A weaker parent would have given up after 20 minutes of whining. I know I would have. I
would have given up too, because I've also like been at that moment of like, I'm hungry. Okay, go find something to eat. I can't find anything. Okay, here you go. That's like how most of my conversations start with the kids are like that, where they're like, I need something. Okay, can you get it yourself? No. Okay, I'll get it then.
Mhm.
So this guy just like, nope, I'm not gonna have this conversation ever again. I
Yeah.
guess.
So Bean Dad went viral. Everybody on Twitter clapped back at Bean Dad and said, "She's 9, you monster," and everybody was decidedly against Bean
I mean,
Dad.
all the childless people on Twitter were against Bean Dad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I believe most parents would applaud his ability to teach a
Brazilian?
lesson. And by the way, he also was not eating, and neither of these people are in danger of starving. I mean, this isn't happening. This isn't the last tin of beans in some war-torn country. These are
Mhm.
well-fed individuals. So put it in perspective. This is a
Faith
dad.
says in the chat that she has the same problem with her dog, even though she's leaving the food and can opener on the counter. The dog's refusing to eat.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, Bean Dad actually is a podcaster. Some people came to his defense, including Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy champion, who said that he was, telling a lighthearted story, but it's not a big deal. Everybody needs to calm down. So the Bean Dad controversy is raging.
And Jennings is very close to getting Ken boned. He needs to be careful.
Especially if he's up to be the new host of Jeopardy, right?
He might be out.
He's out?
That
Yeah.
tweet was a broadside.
You think that, or you think already before he's not going to be?
I think that he's on the ropes, and then coming to Bean Dad's defense might cost him Jeopardy.
You really could. I mean,
Because then people started going into his tweets.
Yeah, they did, and he already came out and publicly apologized for a bunch of them. But Bean Dad, see, I like that he's trying to teach his daughter, like, to, figure out problem solve and stuff like that. But I don't know that this method was the right way, especially when the daughter maybe in the future will go back and read this whole tweet thread and be like, oh,
she'll laugh. By the way, I am totally okay with Bean Dad. First of all, we don't know all of the facts. He wasn't.
Yeah, and we don't know what's exaggerated and what's not.
We don't know what the relationship's like. But we don't know. I mean, it's just, to me, it just sounds like a dad trying to teach a lesson that every parent can appreciate who has older kids that are incredibly lazy. So, I mean, people just need to back
timeless lesson.
Yeah.
You open a can of beans for your kid. They eat for one lunch. You teach them to open a can of beans. They eat for a lifetime.
By the way, he's been punished enough. He's now known as Bean Dad, which I don't know is the greatest thing. I think that might be worse than Vascular D.
Danny, can your oldest kid use a can opener?
I think he can.
Yeah. Not for anything, Bean Dad, but a can opener and a sharp metal can are not toys to be fooling around with. That if your kid does not know what they're doing with a can opener, they should not be attempting for 6 hours to try to use the can opener.
Yeah, she probably wasn't. She probably used a can opener for less than 10 minutes. I doubt she was sitting there like I did when I was a kid with a knife stabbing the top of a can of beans, trying to make enough holes with the knife to get some bean juice out. I mean, that's my first memory of a can of beans at scout camp, probably. Just stabbing the living bejeebers out of it and then smashing it on a rock, eventually prying a hole open with tons of sharp points and dumping that into an overheated pot.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what I knew at 9 and what I didn't know at 9. And I think that learning to use a can opener at 9 is fine, is pretty good, no problem. And I think the greater problem is that how are you teaching your kid to have an appetite for baked beans? Those are gross. That's the real abuse here.
Secret.
It's like, get the canned beans out of your face. They're disgusting. Do they have little hot dog bits in them?
Maybe that's honey baked ham.
Yeah.
Should we have a challenge to see? Should we get all of our kids involved to see whose kid can open a can first?
I got an 8-year-old. I'll quiz him right after this.
Yeah, I don't think my kids could, if you gave them 6 hours, could open a can.
I think my 8-year-old could. He likes solving problems. He's a big Lego guy. Got a little circuit board for Christmas. I could see him doing it, but my oldest and my youngest, I don't see ever doing it. I'll probably be opening cans for her well into her 30s.
Are there still a lot of people using the electric can opener, Danny?
Not worth it. I mean, really, it takes like 4 twists of the wrist to open a can. You just spend that money on a can opener. Plus, a lot of cans come with the pop top thing now.
Yeah.
Also, the edges of the cans. Yeah, and they're really sharp though. Like,
yeah. Well, we're losing your connection here a little bit, Tyson. It could be some interference from the UFOs
or lava. Probably a ton of
lava.
Electromagnetic interference from all
that.
Or
Bean Dad could be jamming us right now.
I don't think so. We weren't really disparaging Bean Dad that hard.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right. So hopefully Bean Dad and Ken Jennings will be able to repair their image after this. Do we have maybe a stunt for them to be able to sort of like get back in good graces of social media?
We can create the bean challenge, some kind of bean challenge.
Yes.
That's as far as I've gotten. There's a lot you could do with beans. You could
a bean off between Ken Jennings and Bean Dad. Okay. Could be good. We'll see what happens. All right. Danny, are you ready to take us to your bolt hole?
Yeah, we didn't actually hit any of my bolt hole stories, so thanks for that.
Okay, all right.
That's a good day. That's a good episode when we have done all our stories and still the bolt hole remains a mystery.
Pristine.
Undisturbed.
Yes.
An undisturbed bolt hole is the best kind of bolt hole.
All right. So here he is, the great Danny Bryson, to take us to...
Whoa.
Yes?
Liv in the chat said Roku is buying Quibi.
Yeah, I think they're getting all their content.
Yeah. And then giving it to for free. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So here we go. Let's visit Danny in the bolt hole.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong.
Yeah, first bolt hole of 2021 is here.
No pressure. Translation, some pressure.
All right.
I've got a shocking study, one that shocked me to the core.
Yes.
Study, that site we always use, Study Finds.
Yeah.
It's pretty frequently used. And for some reason, their sample size is always 2,000. I don't know why that number. Maybe that's like the bare minimum to get a decent study, right?
Yeah.
So they did a recent survey of 2,000 adults. Remember, survey adults. So we're not talking just your average survey folks. And after they did all the survey and they ran all the calculations, they discovered that people over 60 years will have spent 44 years staring at a screen. So that's video games, phone, and TV.
Over how many years?
60 years.
Over 60 years. How many of the years will be staring at screens?
40. When to stretch that out over the average 60 years Americans live as adults, you're looking at 44 years of staring at a screen is the way they have it written down here.
Yeah.
Survey people. Remember, this is survey people. Survey people probably look at screens at least twice as much.
I mean, they're getting notified for their surveys on their devices.
They spend most of their time looking at a screen, completing another survey sent by Study Finds.
Yeah.
So that kind of does make sense. I said you might want to reduce it a little bit to more like 25 to 35 years for the normal American, but 44 years. Does that even sound possible? Don't we spend like a third of our life? Aren't we already asleep, right?
Is it like awake time?
Yeah. Probably total time awake spent looking at devices.
Well, because what if you're sleeping with your TV on?
This doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
But
but if you go to work and you look at a computer all day, then I
Yeah.
think it checks out.
You think
Yeah, it
44
probably
years
does.
checks out? That's amazing.
It's hard to find the time when you're not looking at a screen.
No, that's true.
I mean,
Probably
look at
less time
all
during the
three of
day.
us right now, and then all the people who are tuning into us right now. 100% of the people participating in what we're doing are currently looking at a screen.
Yeah, what if you're listening to a podcast? Is that screen time?
Good question. What if you've got glasses on, Google Glass? You're a glass hole. You've got a screen in front of your face all day long. So now 44 years over 60 becomes 60 years of
Are
spent
people
looking
still
at a screen.
using Google Glass?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, but they've come up with some new styles. They're trying to reintroduce them as more of a warehouse kind of device, that you use if you work in a warehouse or manage some kind of assembly line. So they are being reintroduced. They're just not to the general public.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean, that's going to be 100% now if you got those Google glasses on your face.
Danny, can I mention another story from studyfinds.org that I thought was kind of wild? So they had another study there. Yes.
Did you go to the website after Danny talked about the website and then you just bumped into this?
Oh, he probably has it on his.
I go to it every week.
Yeah,
before the
exactly.
Show. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's a primary feeder of News AF type material. They had a story there that said cocaine use linked to unsafe sex. Johns Hopkins study concludes. Did we need a study for this? So there are lots of reasons to stay away from cocaine. Long-term addiction could lead to heart attack and brain damage. Even in the short term, users may experience muscle spasms and convulsions and extreme paranoia and anger. But here's another reason. You're less likely to practice safe sex.
Yeah, you're having tons and tons of unsafe sex when you have cocaine.
Well, I don't want to do the nerd angle here, right? Because it's such a stereotype for the kind of person who goes to one of these prestigious universities or works at one of these. But come on, if you weren't even, I've never even taken cocaine, but I'm well aware that it could possibly lead. Only a nerd would be like, dude, what do you think the bad side effects of cocaine are?
But also, are people are there college kids that are just like, hey, bro, if you have cocaine, you might end up having a bunch of sex.
Yeah. I mean, this could be a
thank you for warning me about that. Oh my goodness, that could have ended really bad.
Like, boy, I really only thought about the bad things there. I didn't know that there was a good chance that I'd be having a lot of unprotected sex.
Up until now, I was only worried about the heart attacks.
Yeah. Only worried about the long-term addiction and brain damage.
I've got to worry about super gonorrhea on top of the heart attacks. Double whammy. Yeah. Another story I was going to talk about, which I was surprised didn't show up, was the kid that had his own severed leg taxidermied. And he has it in his house. He's got just this broken, it's kind of interesting, his broken skeletal leg, well assembled. What do they call it? It's like some kind of RT. Anyway, so he's got it in like a case. And I thought, I don't know if that's therapeutic or not. It just seemed like such a weird thing to do. I would have a hard time looking at that. Every day, your skeletal leg that's smashed, it has all the broken splinters and everything up there at the top.
Ew.
And I don't know. Then again, it's nice to have a trophy, put that on the trophy case up there with all your previous accomplishments.
Yeah. A lot of guys who have been in disastrous bike crashes do keep their bike that they crashed on and put
as
it
art
on the wall or something. Yeah. Because they are smashed to smithereens and they're like, check out this bike and I survived that. Yeah, I've known multiple cyclists who keep their smashed bikes.
Okay.
Also surprised that there was a place you could send your severed leg to get it taxidermied.
Yeah, who would do that? There was a Jackass episode a long time ago where they would take an old lady around and to taxidermists and see if they would taxidermy her after her death so the family could remember her. And
that's called extreme taxidermy. And we've covered a couple stories. The guy in Puerto Rico who was playing poker, that was his position at his favorite poker table. I don't know if you guys remember that during his wake. So it does happen. It's just surprising. There's probably a lot of taxidermists who are just bored of the, animals. They're like, give me something interesting.
Yeah, like a human or a plant.
A plant.
Plant taxidermy, guys. I just
My
invented it.
cactus died. Can you have it taxidermied for me?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who lose succulents every year, and we don't talk about it enough. And everybody just like bottles it inside, but they're hurting, Danny.
Mhm.
I've always enjoyed the word succulent.
Mhm.
Sounds like you want to eat the plant.
Don't.
Yeah.
They have needles.
Are these extreme taxidermists? Is it XTREME? And that's how they spell it, probably a capital X. And then
It
they're
should be.
pounding dues, right? As their taxidermy.
And they started in the 90s
Yeah.
when the E was dropped briefly during that decade.
Yeah.
So cool. So cool.
Danny, anything else in the bolt hole this week?
Oh, I had one other story. It was a little dark though, so we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
Like
But,
how
we've covered so much lighthearted material. We don't want to drag it down. I mean, we
Yeah.
covered UFOs,
Yeah,
hillside
trust
art.
Danny.
Yeah, and I mean the lava. I freaking love lava. If we could start and end every episode with talk about lava, that would make my day. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Roxy, our first test subject on the audiobook for canines, parentheses. dogs. Yeah, she will, her life will come to an end here on Earth as she goes to the great beyond tomorrow. So,
Oh,
lots of love, Roxy.
yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
you actually produced an audiobook?
Not yet. We just
He was
took that
talking about it.
We took that clip and then played it for some dogs to see if they approved, and the dogs loved it, and Roxy loved it too.
Oh, Roxy's a dog.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, not thank goodness, but I was a
Yeah.
little confused. You didn't really give us a lot of details before launching into that.
Well, I wanted to get it in before the end of the podcast.
Tyson,
Yes.
so when are you going to actually see lava? And will you post a story about it?
I'm going to try and see lava today, and we're going to drive up to Volcano National Park, but I haven't done any research like I should, and to find out where the best and how to get there and stuff like that. I'm just going to show up.
That's usually the best way to do it. And then just kind of like act like a lava detective, talking to people, getting the inside scoop on where you can drive to, and then just going and seeing that flowing lava and then throwing stuff in it. Every child's dream.
Don't throw stuff in it.
You'll get in trouble.
That's what I did.
I know, but you can't do that anymore. That was the 80s. When
That's what the aliens were doing with that thing that they threw at the Earth.
You're just dumping garbage. There's space garbage, opening the garbage and just dumping it right in.
How jealous will you be if I see lava today?
I will be jealous if you see. It depends on how close you get. Because if you're super far away and it's just like a glow, you're seeing that reddish glow, I'm not impressed. Now, if you're up close and personal, so close the heat is making you take a step back,
Danny, you can't do that anymore. I'm telling you already.
Well, then what's the point of going to Hawaii if you can't stand next to flowing lava?
Dude, everybody's getting safer.
Open canned beans, can't stand next to lava.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, why is everybody childproofing the world?
So, are you with Bean Dad or against Bean Dad, Danny?
I'm with Bean Dad. I stand with Bean Dad and all the people who want to stand next to lava.
Rob, Bean Dad or pro Bean Dad or
anti-Bean Dad?
Yeah. I need more information, Bean Dad, because if it was an angry confrontation that lasted 6 hours, that's
not for anything, Bean Dad. Also, not only is the can opener dangerous, that the can has razor sharp edges, but then also this 9-year-old is going to go cook beans on a open flame on the stove.
Gotta learn sometime.
You can eat cold beans, though, I guess.
If this was the Middle Ages, that 9-year-old would be halfway through their lifespan. I mean, they'd have to have it all figured out by now.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Last week, people were getting ticketed for standing too close to the lava, and they were all Instagram influencers, much like myself, but none of them were pickleball influencers.
Smack a pickleball.
Bad boy of pickleball.
Smack a pickleball into the lava. Maybe do an advertisement for Gamma and dip their paddle into the lava, take it back out.
Pull it out. Yeah. like the
And
glaive.
then hit a pickleball with flicking lava everywhere. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go to a third world country where there's lava and they don't care if I stand next to it. And I'm going to poke it with a stick all day long and just have a huge smile on my face.
That will be so fun, and I would be jealous of you, and I wish I could do that here, Danny, but the law will not permit me. But we live in a free country, and we all know that.
It's only so free, though, if you're not able to
You have to
stand
pay the
next to it.
consequences. That's the part that they. That's
Danny,
the
I
part
didn't
that
know you
you
were
can leave out.
lava
is-
lover.
I'm
Once you're
so
a free
pro lava.
country, you have to pay your consequences.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm pro lava. Everyone should have the opportunity to poke it with a stick.
I believe that is true. I also would love to, and I am confident in my safety measures that I feel like I could get to the lava and poke it with a stick and be okay.
I remember, though, when I was a kid and I did poke lava with a stick, I do remember walking out to it being extremely concerned. Like the thought that there was lava underneath me currently, like
There
that's
was
what I
lava
kept thinking.
underneath you, wasn't there?
I'm like, it's going to break through at any moment.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I can't pick up the glaive. I'm not worthy. I'm just going to go right into it. But no, they let you go out to this like little stream, this flowing stream of lava and stand right next to it, probably a foot away. And I threw pennies in it and poked it with a stick. And it was probably the highlight of my childhood.
Wow.
That was before science. When
Well, I got yelled at.
You
The
did?
ranger came over and yelled at me for throwing pennies in it and poking it with a stick. But I had already had my fun, so he was too late.
But you
Jokes on
were
him.
allowed to stand by it.
Oh,
That
we
was-
stood right next to it. Our whole family. As a dad now, I would be so anxious if all my kids were standing next to flowing lava. But my parents, they had 11 kids. So they're like, dude,
They were
We don't-
hoping that somebody
Mhm.
fell in. Yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah, cool experience.
Beans we need for 11 kids.
Yeah, there's so many beans. That's why, as a child of the 90s and one of 11, I was opening tins of beans with a knife, probably a pocket knife, through the stabbing method at 9.
And
Look at how I turned out.
were you guys only in one hotel room, all 11 of you? That's crazy.
I don't really remember how many hotel rooms. I just
parents
can't
in
even
one
imagine
hotel
as a
room.
parent like wanting to do that with 11 kids.
Dude, they didn't. They didn't want to do
Didn't
that at
want
all.
to.
They
All
did
right.
it for you, Danny, so you'd have that memory.
Now,
You have that
thanks to
memory.
them. See, that's why you're there, Tyson. Not for yourself, but to give your kids a cool lava memory like the one I've carried my whole life. It'll probably be the last thing I talk about as I die.
I know that because you know what, Danny?
What?
I witnessed the fire hose in person like 5 or 6 years ago. I was here standing on the beach watching this giant hose of lava squirt
Wow.
out into the ocean, which was awesome.
Squirting lava is next level.
Mhm.
And to see an actual eruption is one of my biggest dreams, like on the bucket list. To see the top of a volcano. I don't want to see it destroy villages. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I want to go to some remote island and watch the top of a volcano explode and be somewhat near, but not get swallowed up in that really hot ash.
Is
Just
this why you're taking the helicopter lessons?
I seriously, if I could fly,
All right, we got one. All right.
yes,
Fire
yes,
up
I
the
would if I could.
Fire up the chopper. We're going to Iceland. And then you get there, it's too late.
I went to Iceland and missed that eruption by just a couple months.
Mhm.
So, gosh, I'm going to get close. I'm going to see it. It's a life goal. I'm on my way.
Wow. Okay. 2021. The
A
stuff that
volcano
turns your head
chaser.
up, Danny.
Listen to this, Danny. Would you rather, if you had to choose only one hobby for the rest of your life, there's only 2 of them,
Okay.
chase solar eclipses or chase volcanoes?
Oh, that solar eclipse was pretty mind blowing,
Mhm.
but I've seen one. So I'm going to go with the volcano explosion.
You're
That's
a
my
volcano
hobby.
chaser from here on out.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
So Danny, what's next for you?
I was just waiting for it to snow so I can start skiing. I haven't done any adventures for mediocre amateur because the weather's been so awful. So I need the weather to become
like
consistent.
cold or like wet or
Yeah,
like
so it's
warm?
cold without any of the snow. Worst
Danny's
case
all about
scenario.
the fire and the ice.
Yeah.
he is.
He wants the snow and the lava.
I
Yeah.
do. Which Hawaii is perfect for that. It has both.
Yeah. they
So
keep
I'm
it
just
close.
waiting for the weather to snow, and then I'll go climb some mountains and ski them.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Is there a lot of snow in Hawaii?
There is some. You can find it at some times of year
On the
at
Big
top of
Island.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think Maui too. It snows on the
Oh,
top.
really?
Yeah, a little bit. Crazy,
Okay.
huh, Rob? Who would have thought?
Wild. It's
Yeah.
wild. Okay. And then Tyson, what about for you?
I'm here in Hawaii for another week and just stimulating their economy at every turn.
Mhm.
And then we will be back in Arizona, and I go straight to a pickleball camp.
Boom.
I'll never stop playing camps, and you can join me there if you want in Mesa, Arizona. So anybody who wants to come play pickleball for a 3-day weekend, you
Mhm.
should.
Okay.
You can, and I will. And then what else do I have going on? That's about it. I
Okay.
took Bergen on her first snorkel trip, and
Oh,
She liked it.
yeah, she did. But I also, you're doing it for the kids, and you have to remember that. So like, we go snorkeling. I'm like, okay, we're gonna be out here for like 6 hours looking at stuff, and then like 30 minutes, she's like, I'm done. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I should have known that 5-year-old can only snorkel for a few minutes, not hours on end. So unlike Bean Dad, I was like, yes, that's good. 30 minutes was great. Fantastic job, Bergen. Let's go back in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tyson, we'll see you and Danny back here next Tuesday. If you missed the best of 2020 edition, check out robswebsite.com/newsaf2020. Have a good one. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
Shaka bras. That's my Hawaiian greeting. And that is a hello or goodbye. I think you can say shaka for.